Greetings and salutations, my name is Deltra and doing Fire Emblem Heroes, looking at the first Yamada Kotaro map. It's a pretty good map. I actually like this team. I sort of wish I had the composition to be able to make them. The worst part of dealing with them is the skilled Roy, and I have two different setups here for you as a demonstration of how to beat this. The first is an all-red team. We have ourselves a Catrio, we have ourselves an Olivia, and then we have two different sword users. I'm using a Lloyd and I'm using a male Corrin. They should be mostly interchangeable. We don't do anything special with them except for one of them does have to have reposition. We really use reposition to be able to help us move out and move in and move around and move through. Actually, we never move through. It's usually mostly away. But right here you can see us using Katarina sitting on a defensive tile, being reactivated with Olivia. She's going to take out pretty much everything for us on this map, including, I am so sorry guys, the end of this video is very messy, but we'll get there in a moment. You see we're pulling over Ninu now, and that she's getting beat up. We're going to go ahead and use Lloyd to finish off her sister here in just a moment. But outside of that, as I mentioned before, that skilled Roy is the worst part of this map. He has distant counter, and that is a huge problem, because now that means that we can't use Katarina unbuffed to be able to take that out. Not to mention, every other unit that I brought here gets killed by Roy in one hit. It's pretty sad. You're going to see if she's Corrin here that to kill the last mage. She just came straight down. There wasn't anything special there, just breaking walls and stuff like that. We broke the bottom walls ourselves so that that could happen to give us a little bit of space. But now here starts 2 minutes of pain as I measure distances and I'm trying to figure out how to consolidate my forces. I definitely could have done this a bit better, but when it comes down to it, what we're going to do is have to get all three of our heroes around Katarina and expect her to be able to take out Roy, because once we do that, Katarina will have enough She has that owl tone, and as owl tones go, the user gets +2 to all stats for each hero that's standing next to them. So she's going to get +6 to each skill, but before then, as you can see, it's not going to really work out too well for her. And everybody is so spread out. And I'm sitting here thinking about, like, well, if I can't use this person, I gotta use that person. And as you see right now is whenever I start to go, okay, I need to get everybody centered around Katarina. So I'm trying to figure out how to get her on that defensive tile, and this is messy, but this is also where dancing and reposition come into play. The mobility is great to be able to redeploy yourself after spreading everybody out. That's very crucial. It's also worth mentioning that my Katarina is minus attack plus speed, so it's a terrible boon, but a really good, it's a terrible bane, but a really good boon. So you should be able to make the do with whatever style of Katarina that you have, as long as it's not completely gimped on the stats here. So now this is about ready to actually finally finish off. I'm taking a look here, trying to figure out if I need to be on that defensive tile or not. And I was doing a final check here to be like, well, you know, can I get away with anybody else being, you know, like doing a hit that I miscalculate, because that's usually the easiest way to do this in the end, is just let someone take a huge hit to the face. But no, you can't do that with skilled Roy. He's too skilled. I mean, a skilled Roy will take out any fox, but we're no fox. I don't know what kind of animal we are. But that's it for this particular round. So the second team I have for you guys is not all sword lords, or not all red units. It's a bit of a mix here. We have Tsubaki here, and what the aim of this one is to stall Roy until we can actually take care of him. And we go about this completely differently. Tsubaki is pretty important here. He has really good high defenses. Although we do have a healer here, you could probably get away with somebody who doesn't have as high as defenses and maybe has a better res. Sanaki is also very important for this. You saw that we took out Cecilia, and she has a really high res, which is the main reason why we need her, because she's basically going to tank the mages for us. If you don't have a high res mage unit to do this with, it is definitely going to be a bit more difficult. Sanaki is perfect for this role. As far as Lucina goes, honestly, she was just there to make sure that Roy had something to do so that he would come down that right side, down that funnel. That was very important. We didn't break any blocks this time. We funneled Roy down just so that we could do this. And the fact that we leave our walls alone is very important in this particular run, because you see that's actually how we're going to finish off this map in just a moment. So we're moving our Priscilla around so that she could support whoever she needs to. She could reach anybody but Tsubaki at this moment, which was a little bit of a mistake in my opinion, but mistakes were made, but I did not suffer for them. Overall, this was rather easy as long as you figured out how to handle Roy. That was the worst part of this map, the distant counter Roy, and it's not like everybody else was a slouch. There's a hone attack on everybody, meaning that anybody's going to bump Nunu up into something a little bit dangerous. You have Triangle Adepts there on the other two mages. That's going to cause some problems. Nunu herself has Wings of Mercy, and that's going to be a problem for you if you decide to let her live too long, because it's just going to wreak havoc on your party whenever you decide to just lightly tap somebody and like, oh, I'll tank a hit, and then here comes Nunu deciding to ruin your run. So be very careful of that if you decide to run someone that's not as strong. Now, you're probably seeing what I'm ready to do. I'm just going to move Sanaki over, and they're just going to have some quality time while Tsubaki and Sanaki are just like hugging around the last opponent. And okay, that was awkward. As awkward as a bad hug is. But this does it. So, you know, we go into a couple extra rounds, and Tsubaki does his thing, and that will be that. Hey guys, do me a favor. If you're on mobile, rotate your phone back to portrait mode. If you're on PC, hit escape to leave full screen mode, and click that like button if I've given you something to chew on. If you missed the latest Heroes goodness, tap or click on one of the links on the left, and if you like your info hot and fresh like grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate you, and until next time, take it easy.